class. Today we're going to be learning about electricity. Does anyone know about electricity? Okay, great. This gives us the opportunity to explore the wonderful world of electricity. This book was written by Mari Schnook. Does anyone know what the table of contents is? Well, the table of contents pretty much guides you through the book and shows you exactly what pages and what chapters are what. It gives you the specifics pretty much of the book. So you have no problem finding what you need. Like if you need to know what electricity was, it guides you to page 4, and electric currents, and it guides you to page 8, and so on and so forth. We also have the table of contents. No, that was our table of contents, I'm sorry. We also have our glossary, which is in the back of the book, which gives you the definitions of words that you don't understand that we're going to read about. So we'll take a look at the glossary a little later during our reading. We also have the index. The index also helps you and gives you an idea of the page numbers, whatever you're looking at, whatever you need to find. It's kind of like the table of contents in a way, but it's not. The index, if you want to look for atoms, it gives you what pages atoms are on, and so on. Let's start with reading about electricity. What is electricity? Have you used electricity today? Electricity runs your clock, it toasts your bread, and keeps the food in your refrigerator cold. It lights up the rooms in your house and school. Electricity is a kind of energy that makes power, heat, and light. Now, for example, we have the word energy here. Does anyone know what the word energy means? Okay, well, that's why we have our glossary, so that whatever words we don't know, we can look in the glossary and it will help us find out the meaning of the word. When you turn to the glossary and you look for the definition of energy, you find out that the definition is the ability to do work. Okay? And then when you go back to here, it says electricity is a kind of energy, which is the ability to do work. Okay? Electricity begins with atoms. Atoms are tiny building blocks that make up everything in the world. They are so small that millions of them would fit on the tip of your pencil. Can you believe that? The tip of your pencil, which is so tiny. Alright? Atoms have even smaller parts inside them called electrons. Electrons can move very fast from one atom to another. Moving electrons create electricity. How many of you knew that moving electrons create electricity? All right, see, we're finding out new and exciting things. Shows you the atom and the electron. Electric currents. How many of us know about electric currents and what they do? Okay, we're going to find out. Most of the time, moving electrons flow along a path, like water in a river. This is called an electric current. An electric current moves through metal wires inside the walls of your house. These wires carry electricity to outlets or switches. Flip a switch, you're using electricity. So how many times do you go in the bathroom and you turn on the light, or the kitchen because you're afraid of the dark, or at nighttime if you're sneaking out a cookie or something, then you're using electricity. Okay? The electric current comes to your house through power lines high in the air or under the ground. Those power lines start at a big power plant. Power plants can make enough electricity for hundreds of houses or even an entire city. And you can see the power plant here, the power lines here, and you can see the big buildings for the power plants. How many of you pass power plants sometimes when you're going home with your parents from school? So you notice. How many of you know what this is? Good job. This is an outlet. The power lines from the power plants connect to wires, in your home. Those wires connect to outlets or switches in your walls. The outlets provide power to the lights and machines. And over here they give you a picture of the wires. You have different color wires, so you have to be careful when you're home. Don't mess with the wires because they can be dangerous. Electric wires usually have rubber or plastic around them. Electricity doesn't flow through rubber or plastic. Those materials keep the electricity inside the wire. Batteries. I'm sure everyone in here knows about batteries for CD players and remotes for televisions. You see your parents use batteries all the time for household appliances. Batteries. Batteries can also make electricity. Watches, cameras, flashlights, many toys all get their electricity from batteries. Batteries use energy from chemicals inside them to create an electric current. Batteries let you take electricity anywhere. Static electricity, like for example, if you rub a balloon on your hair, then it allows your hair to stand up. How many of you tried that? Exactly. Static electricity is a kind of electricity that doesn't move in a current. Static electricity comes from two objects rubbing together. Example again, referring back to the balloon that I was telling you about earlier. Electrons rub off one object and stick to the other, giving both an electric charge. This makes the two objects either stick together or push apart. Static electricity can make the hairs of your head push apart from each other. And they also give you a picture here of the little girl's hair standing up after rubbing it against the balloon. Okay. Be safe around electricity. You see signs like the danger, high voltage, or if sometimes in your house you might have the cover for the plugs, the outlet plugs. That's so that you don't get shocked or anything like that. Electricity helps people in many ways. It could also hurt you if you touch it. Be very careful with electricity. Never play with cords or outlets. Go inside your house if you see lightning. Lightning is very, very dangerous. Electricity powers computers and televisions. It helps you see after dark. It makes life easier and more fun. What would life be like without electricity? How many of you can say what would life be like for you without electricity? Exactly. It would be hard. It would be difficult. No fun. All good answers. And then it brings us back to our glossary, and it also brings us to our reference page as well, so you can find out on the web or at your local library if you wanted to find out more about electricity. And then our index page. Do we have any questions about electricity? Okay, it was great sharing and reading this book for you, and I hope you enjoyed it.